Good evening, traders. Hope everyone had a wonderful day today. We had another almost a 400-point drop to the downside once again. Welcome back to today's episode of Greenback Riders Trading Academy, where we will see what happened in the markets today and what we are expecting for tomorrow. That's the end of the week. So if you look here, this was the high of yesterday. Right at yesterday evening at around 7 o'clock, we just went above the high of it and then rejected. And then if you see, there were 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 attempts to get above this high of yesterday, and it failed, and then the market started coming down. Also, if you remember in the video yesterday, I mentioned that there is a 4-hour bar which has closed outside of the channel, but now we need a follow-through bar. Even if a small one, we need another bullish bar from the 6 p.m. to 10 p.m. time frame. And we did not get that, right? So that was actually telling us that we may actually get a good drop to the downside as long as the tops are not recovered. So we went down here, we came below the 6 p.m. open, and then we tried to get above that, failed. We went back up again to that same area, failed again, and we started coming down. And even if you see this particular bar at 3:15 a.m., it went back to that same area and failed once again. And around 11:20 p.m. in the night yesterday, I already said that the way the market is falling, I think that the market will see the 53.52 level once again, which was right here. And then when I saw in the morning, the price was a little bit above. We had a double bottom here, but here right around 9:40, right after the market opened, we did get that 5352. And then we tried to bounce up. The bounce failed, and this was one reversal attempt, and after that the market actually broke down. On the hourly chart, we had a double bottom at 5360 right here. And when I did see that, this is what I mentioned. The hourly chart has a double top as well as a double bottom. And the expectation was if the double top breaks, we look for the 5460 areas. And if the double bottom breaks down, we will see 5321 to the 16 area. And then we will see 5307. But as soon as this 5352 area broke down, the gamma levels on SPX changed drastically. And we had a major level at the 5200. So that became our target at that point of time, which was close to the 5230 area. And then we said that if the market is giving up the 5200 level on ES, then we will be able to see this 5153 line once again, which is the 2024 11%. We came down exactly there. We came to the bottom of this 4-hour and the daily channel, and we bounced, but we have not been able to close an hourly bar above this. And we closed somewhere above the 5300, but we could not close above 5307. So that is what happened today. So let us take a look at what we are expecting for tomorrow. And as usual, we will first look what is the expectations based on the price action, and then we will take a look at the SPX gamma levels once again. If you're liking the content of these videos, please make sure to like, share, comment on the video, subscribe to the channel if you're new here, and click on the notification icon. Now, first looking at the weekly chart, if you remember at the beginning of the week, I had said that I am expecting this week's bar to have a long wick at the top and the long wick at the bottom. We have something very similar to that at this point of time. We do not know where the market will close, and then we will have to see whether we are closing somewhere in this area or going up in this area to that upside. So let us first take a look at the daily chart. The daily chart did come down to the high of this particular bar. I was expecting that we may find a bounce from there, but we actually did not bounce from there, and we came down to this 5153 area straight down. However, we have bounced from this 4-hour channel again, or the daily channel again. The channel, as we know, is working on both 4 hours and the daily chart. Now there are two possibilities. The first possibility is that the bulls who were stuck here on this tariff day, they actually relieved themselves yesterday, and then the bears took over. Or the other way around is the bears actually were stuck down somewhere here yesterday, and they brought the market down to relieve themselves. But the interesting thing to see is the high of this particular bar is at 5305.25, and the close of this daily bar is at 5302.5. So we could not close above the high of this bar. So if we are continuing to come down, if we just peak above this 5307 area again and get down to these areas, there is still a chance that we will keep continuing to the downside. Now, if you see what happened from this high, this was the first leg down. We went back up. This was the second leg down here, and then this gave us the first entry long, right? So after this first entry long, it was expected that the market will come down. So tomorrow again, we'll have to see how the Friday closes, whether we are able to get up to these areas and hold it. And if we can, that may be a second entry long, which will be picked up by the market again on Monday. So as of now on the daily chart, we have seen that we came down to this level and then we did a higher low on the 5-minute chart and continued to the upside, went up to 5300. The volatility is still doing great. We are getting where we were supposed to get 10-20 points, we are getting 100-200 points, right? So we will have to see if we are breaking down this 5153.25, getting below the low of this bar, then we can target somewhere in the 5113 areas and then continue down to the 5052 areas as well. And if we are breaking that down, we can even come down to this low of 2024, which happens to be at the 5013 level. And then failing of that, it can bring it back to the 930 to the 931 bar on Monday, which is at 4966, and then continue further down. However, on the upside, if we are able to take out that 5352 level, then we can see the price go up till the 5386, 5400 and levels above. We will take a look at them as we go to the lower time frames. Let us now take a look at the 4-hour chart. Now let us take a look at the 4-hour chart. So on the 4-hour chart, this was our first leg down. We went back up. This was the pullback here above this particular bar. And then we had the second leg down. We came down to the bottom of the channel, bounced back up. We tried to get above the midpoint of the channel, failed, and we closed below the midpoint. Now it is possible that it will try to come back down once again, maybe do a double bottom here, or we can also have a wedge structure created right here. We do not know at what point of time it will come and hit this line, but that can become the 4-hour wedge as well, and I will keep that marked on the chart. So on the 4-hour chart, it is not very clear with which way the price wants to move, or it wants to do a trading range here. But if we are able to take out this 5304, get above the 5307 line, get above 5352, getting back to that 5380, this particular line, the major 4-hour line, 538081 area is highly possible. And if we are breaking that out, then we may actually come to this 5429 area as well. And if we are above the 5429 area, it can continue up to the 5446 to the 50 area and further to the upside once again. Now on this chart, you can see that this was a two-legged move. None of the bars closed below the 20 EMA on the 4-hour chart, which means that there are bulls who are sitting below the 20 EMA, and especially here. So even if we come down overnight, we may actually get stuck somewhere on this line based on when we touch this particular line, and then we can start bouncing from there again. This was the main breakout point, and this was the bad signal bar that started the move up. So if we are breaking down this wedge, it is also possible that we will come and hit this line at 5004. And if we are breaking down 5004, we know what levels are there down below. And if the price is able to get out of this 4837 areas, this is the 2024 23% extension. I do not think it will stop in between, and it will get down straight to this particular line at 5736. Now looking at the 1-hour chart, you will see that we did the first leg down, we pulled back, we did the second leg down, we pulled back again, we did a double top at the 5429 area, and then we had the strong third leg down. We bounced from this 5155. This is the first entry long again, and then we came down. This was the pullback. Now we will have to see if we are closing above this 5352 line, right? So if we are closing above this 5352 line, our next target will be this 5380 area. If we take that out, we will see that whether we are getting stuck here at this 5407 line, or we are breaking out of that and coming to this 542930 areas once again, break out from there and then get back to 5432. Now this is an area where there might be bears again sitting, so we will have to be very careful first at this 5438 area, and then around this 5484 area that I was talking about earlier. But if we are able to get out of the top of this bar, this particular line 5516, which was the high of yesterday, should be touched again. And then we will see, as we were talking yesterday, if we are taking out this low at 5536, is the previous month's low, then the next target will be the 5564 to the 79 area. And after that, we will get to this 5606 to the 5638 areas as well to the upside. Now, on the other hand, if you see, this was the first reversal attempt, this was the second reversal attempt, and we broke down pretty strong below the second reversal attempt. This is the third reversal attempt, but I'm thinking that there is still a possibility, because there was such a strong breakdown, and if the machines and the algos are not looking at this as the fourth leg down, there is a possibility that we will come down to these lows once again, especially considering that we had a strong channel to the downside. And if I am extending this channel at this point of time, you will be able to see that none of the the bars could close above this particular channel. We can get back up here to the 5362 areas, which is the upper limit of the particular band, and then start getting rejected. That will become the top of the channel as well, and then we will see if we are breaking this farther down, there can be a farther down move towards this 5153 area. There will be a double bottom here possible. If the double bottom breaks, we will see that a wedge is getting formed out here, and if the wedge also fails, then our next target will be the subsequent levels to the downside. So there are no changes to the support resistance areas at this point, because if you look at the 5-minute chart, the same support resistance areas are still holding. Also, these bars at the top on the 1-hour chart, they are not very strong. They have strong wicks at the top, but they have strong wicks at the bottom yet. So we will have to wait for these areas to break down once again, the 5233 areas, and then we will see if we are breaking down this 5217, and then we can get down to this 5153 areas once again. And after that only we will expect it to come and touch this 4-hour possible wedge line. Now, if you look at the 5-minute ETA chart, this was the channel that I was talking about earlier. We came multiple times inside this channel, but we did not get any follow through above these green bars, right? Above these bull bars. And every time we came inside this channel, we kept on getting rejected. So now we will have to see that if we are getting out of this 5352, we will be touching this 5380 levels. Above that, this will be another, this is another trend line that we have. And above that, we can get up to this 5431 levels, and then we will see if we are able to get back to the upside. If you look here, after this low was created, we had a two-legged move to the upside. We came back and tested the 88.5 area at the bottom, which was the top of the bad signal bar. And then we had a three-legged move to the upside, and then the market just stayed sideways for the rest of the time. Now, the main thing is that for tomorrow, this area has to break down. If it breaks down, we can come down to this wedge line, and as we were talking about, or else we can just test this 5107 line. I will keep a line here right now. So it is possible that we come down to these areas and then start bouncing once again, get above this 5155 and continue to these levels to the upside once more. Now we have to remember tomorrow is Friday, so there can be erratic moves. I personally do not trade after 12 o'clock on Friday. So whatever I capture between 9:30 and 12 is all that I get for Friday, and I close the day that way. So having looked at this price action chart, let us now take a look at the SPX gamma levels. Now, all these charts that we are talking about, the link to these are given in the description below. So if you want to take a look at it for reference, just go to the description and click on those links. Also, I am live on Google Meet every morning from around 9-10 a.m. and at least till around 1 or 2 p.m. in the afternoon. So if you want to join that Google Meet, the link to our free Discord server is given in the description below. Once you join there, you will see that the Google Meet link will pop up somewhere around 8:45 a.m. So this is how the SPX gamma levels are spread at this point. The first aggregate gamma is right here at 5200. The second aggregate gamma happens to be at 5100. The third aggregate gamma is at 5400. Then the fourth aggregate gamma is at 5150, and the fifth aggregate gamma is at 5250. So these are how it is distributed, but the important thing is this is the 1 POI and the 3 COI line, right? So this will be a very strong support here. If we are able to hold this, we will get back to here, and if we are breaking above this tomorrow, there is a high probability to get from this 5375 to this 5400. And since tomorrow is Friday and we can have a great squeeze, there is also a possibility to coming and hitting this 5500 to the top, which will be equivalent to the 5530 line on ES mini. So if we are opening somewhere here, one possible move can be we can come down here, we can bounce from here, and then we can get up back here, and then we will just squeeze up to the top. That can be one possible move tomorrow. Or else, if we are opening somewhere here, considering we are opening at the same place, it can come down here, it can retest this, get down from this, come back here, and then come and close near the 5 POI level once again. So these are the different possibilities, but again, we will have to look at around 9:15 in the morning how these lines are positioned. Based on that, I will make those changes. I make the first set of change around 9:15 if there are any changes. Then I take a look at it at around 9:45 a.m. in the morning again. And then after that, I relook at this somewhere around 11:30 to 12 o'clock and see if there are any changes that have happened in this particular lines. So that is all the analysis I have for now, and I'll see you guys again tomorrow morning. Till then, have a great rest of the night, everyone. Bye.